All right. Glad everybody was able to make it on for Power Hour. We're going to go ahead and kick tonight's call off. We got some new folks on the line, and I like to do this every time for the recording so that everybody knows the purpose of what Power Hour is all about. And it is for you guys. It is for the folks that are just recently getting started. It's for the people that have been in for a long time. It's for everybody in between. It is a place for you to be able to come and ask questions, to understand the basics of our system, and to be able to ask any questions about what's not working out for you, what you need help with, where you're stuck at. And that is the purpose of it. So hopefully you have all been launched. If you haven't been launched, one of the things that I ask is that you get with the person that brought you in. If you don't know who that is, or you're not quite sure who your upline leadership is, please reach out to me directly, Casey Salgi, and let me know if you have not been launched. I want to make sure that we get you through the system. I want to make sure that you know all of the basics of the system and be able to follow that, because this business is all about duplication and you need to know that. So with that, I would like to go ahead and open it up. I see some new folks. Welcome, Blaine, brand new, just joined today up in Cranbrook, British Columbia. He is a very successful business owner, and he saw this and knew that he needed to jump on board. So welcome, sir. Glad you're on Power Hour tonight. So let's go ahead and kick it off like we do every time. I want to open it up for questions. I really want to dig in on what's working for you guys, what's not working for you guys, and I'd like to open that up. So all you need to do is unmute your line or wave at me. It gets on to 2 pages already. So Alicia, I see you waving your hand. We're going to go ahead and get started with you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. So I have a question.
Sure.
And this is kind of funny in a way. So I have read some testimonies about giving Kiani to dogs.
Yep, absolutely.
So tell my hard-headed husband in the chair next to me that it's okay to give our English bulldog this Kiani and that she will walk better.
It absolutely does help. At first I was probably just like your hard-headed husband going, there's no freaking way. And sure enough, I had a guy that worked with in corporate America, and they had little fellow was, good Lord, had to have been like 16 years old. I mean, just on its last leg. It was literally having seizures. I mean, it was in a diaper. This is what we're talking about here. Started giving it the nitro, and it caused the seizures to stop. So yeah, we're talking some pretty good stuff. The Sunset Forum also absolutely great. I know Jake and Candace have given it to their dog, who had trouble sleeping, was always up and moving around and just all throughout the night, not sleeping, sleep like a baby now. I mean, just out like a light. So absolutely fine for pets, again, because it's all natural food.
Well, and she has liver or kidney problems too. So then when we take her back in 6 months for blood work, the vet might be like, what you been doing to the dog?
Absolutely.
All right. That was my question.
It's a good question. You can actually go out into Wellness Simplified, and you'll find actually quite a few testimonies out there. So go ahead and check that out. I don't think they're using like hashtag fur babies or anything like that, but you'll be able to find some that are out there.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Very welcome. All right. Way to get us kicked off. Who's got the next question?
I don't know if everybody's used it or not, but I've found in Wellness Simplified, there's a search this group for box up on the left-hand side that'll bring up any pile of testimonials on whatever subject. That's pretty handy.
That's a very good point, Mike. Absolutely, and Alicia, that's what you can use in Wellness Simplified to be able to find it, is that search functionality. So for everybody that's new on this thing, that is absolutely what we use when you go into Wellness Simplified and you're working with somebody that might have some questions about the product, or they, somebody that might be having some issues with, kidneys or cancer or blood pressure or sleep or any of the, hundreds of things that are out there that people have gotten results off of. You can just do a search for that main item, do a search for fibro for anybody with fibromyalgia, and it'll pull up a whole list of testimonies of people that had that in their chat, in their testimony. So
Casey, do you want to do a screen share for a couple of the people that maybe don't know where to find that?
Very good idea. Very good idea. Let
Cool.
me go ahead and kick that off. So in Facebook, you all should be members of a group called Wellness Simplified. If you're not, same thing, make sure you ask out for that. Reach out to the person that brought you into the business. And if you have trouble getting in touch with them, go ahead and reach out directly to me and we'll figure out who that is. But Wellness Simplified, it's our closed group. You'll notice we're up to 63,000 people in this group. And then if you want somebody to take a look at this, make sure you go through the system and go through the steps correctly. But you add members right here. You just start typing in their name. And then you've got the search this group functionality. And then you just type in, if you have somebody that you know that's dealing with fibromyalgia, you can type in fibro. And then it'll come back with a lot of, excuse me, a lot of testimonies about what people have been dealing with and what this has done for them. One of the things that I do when I look through them is feel free to read through all of them. If you're in a hurry and you just want to let somebody get tagged on a couple of the key ones, look at the number of comments. That means people have done some work for you. They found that this was a pretty good one, and that's why there's 387 comments on that one, 752 on that one, 456 on that one. This one's got 94. That doesn't mean it's not a good testimony. It's just there was only 94 people that liked it, but it's also a little bit of a younger post. And this one's a little bit older in August with 750. So that'll help you kind of weed through and look at these if you're looking for something. This one's got 1,100 comments on it. So video, in my opinion, is always better. So if you can find one that's got a video on it, make sure that you check that out. So that's what you would do. You'd go into one of these, and if you've got a friend that's dealing with that, you're going to add them into the add members, and then you go down into the comment section. And if you want to tag somebody on there, you just go in here and you'd start typing their name. And then all the folks that you have that are members in here, you'd be able to add them. And then it'll show up in their feed. So when they look on their little globe here, it would show up in their stream that you've tagged them, and that'll be something that you want them to take a look at. So again, it's important, don't just go in here and start tagging people without having a conversation with them. Make sure you've had the conversation, make sure you build rapport with them, and make sure that you found out that they're dealing with something. And then you will pique their interest by saying, well, okay, so I hear that you're dealing with fibromyalgia and been dealing with that for a long time. Is that something that you'd be interested in reading an article? Because I just read one and I think you might be interested in it. Yeah, what you got? Just closed group on Facebook. Let me add you on there and you take a look at it and see what you think. Okay, sounds good. And just like that, you built rapport with somebody, you piqued their interest, and then you're able to edify and send them to this group. And when they get there, they're going to see, wow, 66,000 people and it's a closed group. It's gone viral. That's pretty impressive. Let me read up on what this is all about. And then when they get done with that, then you can follow up with them, see how they're doing, see what they thought, if it's something that's got their interest, and go from there. So that's how you point and not be the person that's got to sit there and explain all the things that it does and regurgitate that all over everybody. All right. Good questions. Yes, ma'am. I see you waving at me. I don't know what your name is. That means you're new, or I haven't had the pleasure to meet you yet. You are muted right now. Do you see it? There we go.
I got it. Yeah. My name is Nora. I came in under Melanie.
Excellent. Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you. My question is, okay, my situation is I have several friends who are from other countries. And I was looking for videos in French, Filipino, Albanian, but the thing is they're all for their country.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anybody here in the United States, that can, I need something to be able to communicate to them. They speak English, but their fear is they don't speak enough English and they don't think they'd be able to do it.
Are they here in the U.S. or are they in those countries?
No, they're here in the U.S.
Okay. So the videos that you were talking about what videos did you see that were in their language?
I found Spanish for a lady who's from Peru.
Uh-huh.
And I found one in French, but I don't understand French, so I couldn't tell if that was the correct video to send her or not.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I wouldn't sweat it too much. You're not going to go wrong with sending them the videos. I don't know if they've got a Wellness Simplified that is in other languages. I don't know if they have the ability to just do like a Google Translate on it.
Uh-huh.
I know that when I see posts from people that I'm friends with that might have posted something in Spanish or Swedish, then Facebook will translate that for me. So you might still be okay with that. And then as far as the videos, there's quite a bit in Spanish. There's quite a bit in French. As far as Albanian, you might be out of luck on that one. So I'm not sure on that front. I know you can go to the website, the Kyani website, and you can pick the country and you can pick the language. And then when you're in there, I think those videos are probably translated into that language. But beyond that one, I'm going to strike out on that one.
Okay. All right.
But the key thing is, for anybody that says they don't know if they can do it, they can absolutely do it. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, they can do it. They just need to, be the translator, if nothing else. If they speak enough English and they speak enough, they've got their home language, and then if they speak enough English to be able to understand it, then they can translate that for their people and just be the translator. That's not anything crazy. So don't let them use that as an excuse. That's all people are trying to do, is use it as an excuse. Is it a hurdle? Absolutely. But, they're here. They didn't speak the language to begin with. They're figuring it out. They can overcome the hurdle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And it was Laura or Lauren?
Nora.
Nora. All right.
Yeah.
Nora. Very good. Excellent. How long have you been on the team?
Melanie, are you on there?
Just around about a couple weeks, couple days.
It's been a week and a half or so. I'm bathing the baby, so sorry.
No problem. Excellent. I love it. Very good, Nora. Good question. All right. What's our next question for tonight?
Hi, Casey. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm doing great. I had reached out to, she's a substitute teacher at my school. It was back when I didn't know any better. I'm going to start by saying that. I noticed that she put out a post on Facebook about, if anybody knows of a job. Her husband was looking for a job. So right away I reached out to her, and it just so happened that Mr. Stallard was doing a Zoom that night. So I had kind of piqued her a little bit, and then she was interested. So I sent the Zoom link, and he did get on, but I noticed that he dropped off before it was over. Mm-hmm. So her husband. Mm-hmm. So I saw her at school, and then I asked, hey, what did y'all think? Or what did you like best? And she said, well, we haven't really talked about it. So I followed up with her a couple other times, and she said the same thing. Oh, you know what? I really haven't had a chance to talk. We hadn't talked about it. So some time went by, mm-hmm. and she was actually subbing in my class recently. Mm-hmm. So I felt like she had been avoiding me. So we started talking about things in general, and then I said, oh, hey, did your husband ever find a job? She said, no, not really. So I just kind of started talking about the product, because she was telling me that she recently went on a weight loss journey, and anyway, she wanted to become healthier. So I started talking to her about the product, and then she said something, I can't remember what it was, about financial issues. Mm-hmm. I started picking her on the business, and she seemed really interested. So she was just asking questions, but I didn't tell her too much. I said, well, you know what? Let me add you to the Wellness Simplified so you could just check out the products, because I feel like that was her main interest. So anyway, I've followed up with her a couple of times, and she hasn't had a chance to see it yet. She said, but right. So anyway, right now I texted her earlier, and she said, I promise, when my husband and I get together, because we don't see each other anymore that much, we're gonna check it out. And I said, okay, that's great. I'll just get a hold of you next week. And then she started saying something about, yes, we're working all these odd jobs and we're just really, looking for something because we're hurting financially. So what do? She's giving me signs, that they're hurting. So I just don't know where to go from here with her.
What I would do is I would say, I noticed that your husband was on the presentation that we saw earlier. What did he see in there that scared him off where he didn't finish and y'all are still dealing with financial issues? What was it that you saw in there that was concerning? And just call the elephant out in the room and let's figure out what's going on is how I would go about it. If somebody starts on that, then chances are, and they drop off without making it to the end, one of two things happened. Life got in the way and he had a true emergency and had to go handle something right then and there. And that's fine. That happens. But the other more likely scenario is they saw it and said, oh my God, this is network marketing, and ran for the hills. And that's somebody that thinks they understand what it is that we do. They don't have a clue because they haven't done this before. Not this one. Mm-hmm. And then y'all know me, I don't hold back, so I'm going to say what I think. If you're struggling that much and the finance stuff isn't working that much and you keep doing the same thing and you keep doing the same thing and you keep doing the same thing and you're still struggling and you keep doing the same thing and you're still struggling, you got a mindset issue. You don't have a financial problem. You got a mindset problem. Right. And then you can decide, do you want to stand up for this person? Or is it going to be awkward and too awkward? And see if you can have a full-blown legitimate chat with somebody in such a way that they know that you're in it for them and point that out to them.
Okay.
And the way you do that is you do it through analogy and you talk about yourself. And hopefully they got enough snap that they can apply that to themselves and see it.
Okay.
That's what I would do with that person, especially since it's been awkward. And let me give the reason why I said what I did. And it was based on the information you gave me. We don't know. You'll never know until you just try it out and see what happens. But chances are with the things, she's ducking you, she's avoiding you, she still has interest, or she wouldn't be asking the questions. There's interest there, but there's something that scared them away as well. Or they would have been beating down your door saying, oh my goodness, I need to do this.
Okay.
That help?
Yes, it did.
You know what you need to do next?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Valerie, did you have a question, or are you just trying to get your phone to not fall over? She's driving.
Casey, I got a question for you. Oh.
Valerie,
go
can
ahead,
you?
Don.
No, you go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I had a quick question when I had an opportunity to share today with a business partner who was interested in the $5.99. She wanted to get the Flores and start that side of the business.
Yeah.
But I just want to confirm that she would have accessibility to both, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So in the original
That's what
package,
I thought.
Yeah, in the original package, if you do the $5.99 or you do the $3.99 and you pick whichever one you pick, you have full-blown rights to both sides, both products. You can purchase those later. You can get them at distributor pricing. You have full rights on everything that's available. It's just in that box. It doesn't have any of the other product. That's all good. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you do the $12.99, then you get both in the box.
Right.
And you still have access to both, just like you would if you did the $5.99 or $3.99.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good clarifying point. And there's so many of those, so that's why I love those questions, because there are people that have been wondering that, and that's what's so great about Power Hours. You got that question, ask it, so that's good. Awesome. And your mom looks like she is having the absolute time of her life right now.
I'm a little jealous, but I'm trying not to be.
For y'all that don't know, Karen White is actually on the Caring Hands mission trip that Kyani puts on, and she's one of a handful of people that are there. I know Blue Diamond, Mr. Brad Parkhill, and I know founder of the company, Mr. Carl Taylor, is there at the event. Seeing the pictures roll in from Mexico right now, it's pretty special. So glad she's there for that. John, you're up next, sir.
So Casey, for Linda, if you have somebody that financially is in that kind of dire straits, maybe sit down with them and kind of show them if they were to make their list, if you could equate that to dollars and cents or based on customers, it may be able to give them some revenue instantaneously.
Yeah.
And again, you're pushing that for them. And again, Casey, I mean, take that for what it's worth. Years ago in the sales arena, that's what we used to do when we had a new sales guy come in and say, I just don't know where to go. Well, you kind of just grab them by the hand and help them make their list. Mm-hmm. And I think here a few weeks ago, they had given something out that kind of helped probe the thought process of who you know, who you don't know, all that good stuff.
The memory jogger.
Yeah. And maybe you can help them drive a list such that they can see, I got 20 customers, that's X dollars to me or whatever. But, again, that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's a fantastic suggestion, John. I appreciate that. And I see William with thumbs up and Linda as well. Absolutely. Let folks know. I'll give you kind of a closing mechanism that I use. We'll use this for a little training I haven't done in a long time. The reason I haven't done it in a long time with this group is because this group is focused on people that are just getting started. And this is something that you're not going to typically be doing right away. Your job in the beginning is to figure out your why. Your job in the beginning is to make that list like John was just mentioning. And then once you have that list, you're going to go through the steps of building rapport with each of those people. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to pique their interest and find out what they're looking for. And then after that, you're going to edify the proof leader and pass the ball to them. Now, when you do that, that's the first steps, and that's what we focus on so much in Power Hour, because that's the key to duplication in this business. When you get that figured out and you know that you don't have to be the one to answer all their questions, you can point to somebody. It allows you to not have to spend a lot of time when you first get started in this, and you can go through a lot more people quicker, and they see the power of the system in action. Now, after that happens, once the proof person has done their step, which is called the inoculation, that's to get over their basic issues that they're going to have, the diseases of the mind that your prospect is going to have, that they don't have enough time, they don't have enough money, they don't know enough people, and all the other excuses that they make. Our job is to get over that, to get them over that. And then once we do, the next step is to get them information, to get them the actual presentation so that they are going into the data with an open mind. And once they're going through the data with an open mind, then what you want to do is you want to finish back up and say, hey, did you get a chance to review that information that we sent over to you? They're going to say yes. And if they say no, then reset with them. But once they say yes, then you say, great, what did you like best? And then you get them to start talking. What else did you like? And you get them to keep talking. Okay, and after that, what else did you like? And you keep asking them what did they like best until they run out of things that they liked. And if you like those things too, then you can build further rapport and say, yeah, I like that. I like that as well about what we do. I love the Caring Hands trip. I love the charity program that we do. I love how we help people as well. And I love how we make a lot of money to be able to go do even better works after that. I hear where you're at. And then you ask them, you ready to get started, or do you have any more questions? With the assumption that they're ready to get started, because holy smokes, why wouldn't they? You all join. That's why y'all are here. They want to join too. So give them that opportunity to be able to do so. And once they say, well, no, I'm not really quite sure, I'm just deciding, they're not ready to make a commitment, then what you want to do is you want to start walking them through a process. And this process is one of the great things that we can do is to find out about the money side for them. What I ask them is say, okay, well, let's do this. Since you're not quite ready, let's kind of get an idea on where you're at in the big scheme of things. And this comes into it's 4 different parts. The first one for your notes is, and I'll actually share my screen here so that I can write it, and y'all can follow on that as well. The first thing I asked them is say, now money's not everything, but let's just, before we get into the money, let me get it from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you have absolutely no interest in this thing, and 10 being you're ready to enroll right this instant. And I know it's not a 1 and I know it's not a 10 from what you just told me. What would you say your interest level in this is? And they're going to give you a number. Do not give them any advice into what their number should be on any of these things I'm getting ready to say. Get a true survey of where they're at. Most of the time, they're going to say 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay. If they say 10, then you say, well, I guess I was wrong. It does sound like you're ready to get started and join us. Yeah, I am. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Boom. When they say that, when they're ready to join at any of these spots, there's a term out there. It's called shut up, take my money. Okay. So when they're ready to join, let them enroll and join. Okay. We're not going to get them signed up. We don't sign people up. That sounds like you're about to get a mortgage. Okay. What we do is we enroll people. Let's get you enrolled. Okay. But chances are they're going to say they're somewhere in here. Your answer to that is great. If it's 1 through 4, great. There's still a chance. Perfect. Great. Whatever their answer is, great. It's just to get the ball rolling. Okay. It's give them something simple to answer and they can answer that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to say, now, money isn't everything, but how much would you need to make in the beginning? Not, this isn't your, end goal here, but in the beginning, how much would you need to make in this thing per month for it to be worth an investment of your time and effort? What's that number for you? Do not say a number. Don't say, is it $500? Is it $2,000? Is it $10,000? Do not give a number. You will screw this up if you do. Just ask them, what's the amount? If they look at you blankly and they say, I want to make $100,000. Say, great, no problem. Is that you'd have to make $100,000 a month before you get started in this thing? Or that's kind of, upper level? Oh, no, that's upper level. Okay, well, what would you need to make at a minimum to be able to say this is worth your time? It's usually going to be $500, $1,000, $2,000, or $5,000. And there'll be numbers all over the place, but those are typically, after the literally hundreds and thousands of times I've done this, those are the numbers that typically pop out. And that's per month. Okay. You say, okay, wonderful. Then you say, now how many hours per week, because that's how people think about hours. They work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week or 20 hours a week or whatever. How many hours a week would you be willing to invest? And you notice I keep using the word invest because that's what they're doing. They're investing in themselves. How many hours a week would you invest in yourself in this thing to be able to make that amount of money that you just said, whatever they said? Don't give them a number. Sometimes you're going to hear anywhere from, I can give you 2 hours a week, to I could give you 30 hours a week. Some more, some less, but that's usually kind of where it lands when people are given that. Okay. And a lot of times the vast majority is going to be from 10 to 15 hours a week. What they'll do is they'll break it in their head and they'll say, I can probably do an hour or 2 hours a day. I can do that 5 or 7 days a week. And then they'll come up with the amount. So typically people think I could probably give it 2 hours. I do that 5 days a week. I can give you 10 hours a week. You say, okay, great. Whatever that number is. And then the last question that you ask them is, how many months would you be willing to sustain 10 hours a week until you hit $1,000 a month or whatever number they said? So how many months? And what I do is I usually say, because you're not going to probably make $2,000 tomorrow in this thing. Like anything, it's going to take a little time to figure out what we do. But how many months would you be willing to do this? They're typically, some crazy people are going to say, I need to make $5,000. I need to do it in the first month, and I'm going to give you 2 hours a week. Some people do that. But typically, you're going to get somewhere between 3 to 6 to 12 months that they're willing to do that. Once they say that, you're going to regurgitate all this to them and say, okay, now what I heard you say and you just do it from here on down, is that you're looking to make, if you can make an extra $2,000, let's make an easy one, $1,500 a month. To make an extra $1,500 a month, you're willing to give me 10 hours a week, and you're willing to sustain that for 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, if you haven't made $1,500 a month, working 10 hours a week, you're like, screw this. This was the dumbest thing I've ever done. And that's how I frame it up for them. Now, when I do that, sometimes they'll say, well, no, actually, I go 12 months. I go 12 months. I'm not, after 6 months now, I'll keep going. I mean, it's 2 hours a day. It's not that much. It's 40 hours a month. That's not crazy. I can do that. Cool. You're willing to do it. Yeah, I am. For an extra $1,500 a month? Yeah, you darn skippy, I am. Okay, cool. Then what you do is you go out and you go to something called the income disclosure document. And on the income disclosure document, where you get that is you can go out to the interwebs and you go to Google. Yes, I would like to leave this page. And then you type in Kyani income, and before you're done typing that out, it's going to say Kyani income disclosure. And then on these, the very first result is the income disclosure document. This is a legal document posted out to the interwebs. You can come in here, and then what you do is you say, okay, let me make sure I got this right. You said that you want to be able to make $1,500 a month. You're willing to give me 10 hours a week, and if you don't make that within 12 months, then you're out. So if you'll notice here that the average sapphire, out of all the sapphires in the company, on average make $1,561 a month. Now, that's the average. Some people didn't make that much. The lowest person, that sapphire, made $216. The top sapphire made $8,500 a month. But we're talking about the average, Joe Blow, everybody that's hit that rank, the average $1,500. Some dude hit that position in 3 days. Another guy took 78 months, the little engine that could. Okay, 6 years, and they hit it. Now, what that means is they probably screwed around for about 5.5 years, and then they got serious, and then they went ahead and got themselves on up to sapphire. But that's okay. The average sapphire took 3.7 months to do that. That's about 3 months and 3 weeks. We'll go ahead and call it 4 months for giggles. You're willing to go 3 times longer than the average person takes to be able to hit that. When they see that, the reason that we do that is I use a lot of words like average, and I have under-promised and over-delivered for them, or under-promised and whatever the phrase is. You get what I'm saying? My goal is for them to be able to see that what they said is right within bounds, and in fact, they could probably do it a third again as fast. And when they see that, then they go, I can do this. You're getting them to overcome all of the fear that's in their head by showing them by testimonial that other people just like them was able to do this. And the average amount of time, I think, for most of the people that were on here is somewhere between 5 to 10 hours a week. So they're willing to give you 10 hours. There's no reason that people can't hit these numbers in that time. I would say that if you could give me 6 hours a week, I can get you all these numbers on here at these averages. And when they see that, then that's going to be very powerful. So what all that does is it goes back to what John was saying, is show them what they can make. Get them to see themselves in this thing. Get them to understand that they can do it. And it's not that some lucky person that went out, if they say, I got to make $8,000, say, cool, you can do that as a sapphire. Don't tell them that. One person did that as a sapphire. Put it realistically. Now, if they say, well, I want to hit $5,000, I need to hit $5,000 a month. I need to be able to hit that after my first month, and I'm only willing to work about 2 hours a week. I'll say, okay, is it possible to do that? Yes, it is possible. tell me your background in doing this in network marketing. I was a top income producer. I have 100,000 people in my network, and, I've got 14 millionaires in my previous company. Cool. Yeah, we can do that and a whole lot more. Okay. Don't assume what this person's done. Ask, find out. They say, I've never done network marketing before. I just moved to the country. I don't know anybody here, and English is my second language. Sorry, you ain't going to hit $5,000 in your first month, most likely, but we'll see. I'll be happy to work with you, but that's probably not realistic. I set their expectations. I set it based off of that document. I'd have them pull that up and say, could you do it? Yeah, you could. There's a person that hit Sapphire in 3 days, and they made $8,500 a month. You could do it, but you're going to have to work like crazy, and I don't think 2 hours a week is going to do it. So you set their expectations with that. So that's an advanced topic. That's something that happens down the road. You don't have to get all your wording just right away, but it's good to have those things in your toolbox if you need them, okay? That was more for people that have been doing this for a little bit longer, and that's for people that are going to be answering some questions for their people's people, okay? If you just started yesterday, that's not something that you're going to start whipping out on people right away, okay? All right, let's see here. We got a couple chats. Hope everyone's taking notes. Very good. Okay. Next question. These are great questions. Y'all are doing great. Let's keep it going. Maggie or Aaron, I saw y'all looking at each other. Somebody's got to have a question. Nobody?
Hey, Casey.
Yes.
I've been working with quite a few people who are throwing me some 3-ways. So way to go, you guys, for being Randy, especially, and Valerie and Jamie. And wow, y'all have really kept me busy, which is amazing. Randy's been working some on LinkedIn, and he was wondering what the best way to kind of get that transferred over. Do you have any LinkedIn advice for Randy?
Is transferred over from an edification perspective, he's piqued their interest, or how to pique their interest on LinkedIn?
Randy, you want to pipe in? I know he's on here.
Yes, sorry. It's I guess more so, I've got their interest, and there's a lot of, because of course on there it shows their profession on there, so it makes it, I guess it makes it easy whenever a lot of them are in the personal fitness type role.
Yeah.
So, I guess on there I can reach out to them, and I already know they're kind of in that type of the health aspect of it, so I can kind of reach out according to that and their normal, I guess, everyday type routine that they have. So
gotcha. So you've gone through, you've built rapport, and you've piqued their interest, and then what?
Then I guess just I guess if I can't transfer over from say they don't have a Facebook, because on there the people that typically have LinkedIn are saying they have it because they don't like Facebook. So
the very, very cool thing on what we have is in LinkedIn, you've got the exact same functionality as Messenger exists in LinkedIn as well. So you can have a chat session, a 3-way chat in LinkedIn to be able to do that. And that's done quite often. In fact, I will share my screen and let's see how quick I can get over there. And I'll show y'all what that looks like. So underneath LinkedIn, if you go into messaging, see if I got an example in here. So does that look familiar to all you folks on Messenger? Exact same thing, copy and pasted for the edification script. And then introduction to the prospect. And then I go in, I do the exact same thing that I do on Messenger. And then we just have the conversation and do it from there. And then that leads to getting on the phone and having the inoculation. So you can do all the same stuff up to this point here. Now, when you get done with the inoculation, then I will try to see, hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to get you into 2 of our private groups that are over there. And at that point, if I have their interest, most likely, even though they're not on Facebook, they can go create a fake account, not a fake account, but a true account, but without putting any crazy information in there. They can put that in there and have that spooled up literally in 5 seconds. And once they have that spooled up, then we can get them added and have them take a look at the information. I did that just on Saturday. It wasn't through LinkedIn. It was just having a chat. We did it through text messaging, the exact same back and forth edification. And then when I got on the phone with the inoculation, when I was done with that, they were interested enough that they were going to go create a Facebook account just to be able to get in there to take a look. And that's what they did. Now, if they won't get in there to take a look at that, you can still send them to the same information. The pinned post that has the actual video, that's the same one that's on teamfusionfamily.com. And they can go in there and see that. You can also send them to the write-up for the leaders. That's on the Team Fusion family underneath leaders. And then you can show them, who it is that they're potentially going to be talking to. What it doesn't have is on the Wellness Simplified side. We don't have that in there, obviously. But what you can do is find out which ones they're interested in. If they won't go into Facebook, you can go in there and take screenshots of that, copy that, and send that over to them in LinkedIn as screen clippings and be able to send that over. So extra little step to be able to do in there, but you can absolutely have that flip over. Looks like I am lagging out. All right. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me. Okay, cool. Randy, does that help?
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
Okay. Sherry, you would obviously need a LinkedIn account to be able to get one of those set up. I imagine you probably have one.
Yeah, I've got one set up.
Cool.
It probably says goofy stuff, but it's there.
Yeah. And LinkedIn, I'm telling y'all, very powerful, very, very powerful place to find prospects that are out there, especially on the business side. A lot of people have caught on to that. There's a lot of spam that's out there. Same way that Facebook went through the same thing where everybody was spamming everybody. Do it the right way. Build a relationship. Find out what they're looking for. Don't go in there and just start throwing up all over them. Find out what they want, what's going on. I had a person literally from when I had reached out to somebody in my previous company. So this has been well over 2.5 years ago. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. That person that I'd reached out to, and I said, hey, do you know anybody? He wasn't interested. Do you know anybody that's looking for a career change? Well, he got back to me 2.5 years after I sent that to him and said, hey, I got somebody that might be interested in what you're doing. I'm not with that company anymore, but still kind of in the same vein. So that person reached out and they put them into contact with me. And I went through all the same steps and went through inoculation, went all the edification, and they've got some interest. They're still looking for their regular main job. They didn't want this to be their main thing to do right away, but had a whole lot of interest. So LinkedIn is a very powerful medium to be able to find people that have common interests on the business side. There's a lot of groups that are there that you can get yourself a part of, and you find a lot of people that are interested in what it is that we do that haven't heard about what we do so far. There's a lot of people. All right, we got some chat session here. Let me see what we got. I have 3 people who keep saying they are going to order and they still haven't. I have followed up numerous times and still nothing. What is my next step? Next time you call them, I would reach out to them and say, hey, obviously you're too busy to do all this. I'm actually in my back office right now. I've got your order all filled out. All I need is a little bit of information. We'll be able to get this over to you. Would you like me to go ahead and complete this order for you? Or did you have any questions about this whole thing? And then what you're doing is you're putting them to a decision and find out if they really do want to order or if they're just stringing you along. Could just be that they're busy. That's happened, and it's not that big a thing, but push the benefits to them, those types of things, and then offer them that value. Yeah, Valerie had the exact same thought, so I should have probably read that. Good job, Valerie.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Marianne has been running with a friend 2 to 3 times a week, every week since January.
Mm-hmm.
And every day they've talked about Kyani. And she's actually been talking to her January a year ago, throughout the year. She signed up today as a customer. So don't give up.
That's it right there.
Don't give up.
Right, well said. Well said. Yeah, honestly, I mean, the only way that you can fail in this thing is if you quit. That's all there is to it. And what happens is you get anytime you've ever had conflict in your life, no matter what it is, it's because you had an expectation of how something was supposed to go and it didn't go that way. That might be your spouse didn't do what you had it in your head that they should do or what they said they were going to do, and you had an expectation that something was going to happen that didn't happen. It could be that you expected, to win that game and you didn't. Whatever it is, it's because you've got an expectation of how something's going to go. If everybody would get rid of that expectation that it's got to happen by some certain time frame and just say that it's going to happen, then there's no chance of you failing in this. Now, that's said by probably, if not I bet I'm in at least the top 2 most impatient people on this Zoom right now. Okay. So I get it, but just make your mind up that just guerrilla warfare, just don't ever quit and you will win. Just keep finding a way to get it in front of them. Keep bugging them about it. Keep talking to them about it. People say, I don't want to bug somebody. I'm sorry that what you were offering them wasn't valuable enough that you felt the need to go bug them about it. I'm going to bug them about it until they either lose my number and don't answer my calls ever, or they're my customer. That's just how I approach it. And I've got a long view on it, so I'm not pushing them that they got to do it right now. I just keep consulting with them. I keep getting on the same side of the table with them. I'm not doing a negotiation where I'm across the table from them. I'm always on the same side as them, whispering into their ear on what they need to do next and making suggestions on what they need to do next, always showing the possibility of what they can do next and trying to put some lenses, some glasses on them so they'll look through it in the same viewpoint. And eventually, you say it long enough, they're going to say yes. They will. Good stuff, Sarah, and good story there, Joanne. I love it. All right, next question. Y'all are doing really good. We got here fast.
Yes, sir. A thought on LinkedIn. You're going to catch more spam than you ever imagined on Facebook. They just because it's a business site, they can't throw their link at you fast enough. I'll ask them if how's that working for you? Your CBD oil, you've been at it how long? You making any money yet? There's a possibility they've been doing it a year and they're up to $20 a month. And I get a guy today that's curing his cancer with it. So, obviously he's not switching.
Yeah,
I gave up at that point on him.
Yeah.
My other question I would have is, if I turn a guy over at some point and he gets inoculated, then after that, is it on me? I need to be on him to get him signed up then?
Yeah, you'll do the follow-up. You'll do the follow-up to nurture the progression, which is the follow-up is the next step. So they get after the inoculation, there's going to be a presentation. They're going to get some information. And once they get that information, I'm going to mute you out because I'm getting a lot of feedback. Once they get that information from the presentation, then it's up to the business partner. That would be you in this case, Mike. If I was the proof person, you've got Joe Blow from LinkedIn that's looking at this thing. You would then be following up with them and say, hey, did you get a chance to take a look at that presentation? Did you get to take a look at that video? And then when you do that, that's when you would come in and say, great, what did you like best? Wonderful. Are you ready to get started, or did you have any questions? Oh, you have some questions? Great. What's your first question? Hey, great question. Like I told you up front, I'm brand new at this thing and I got a guy. Let me get that question over to Casey. That's a wonderful question. I think I might know the answer, but I'm still learning this thing. Let me get with the expert here 1 second. And then you would go into that same three-way chat session that we had, and you would be able to ask that question there. And that way we've already got the communication channel established, and you drop it in there. And what's great about that is it keeps up with our progression with them of knowing what was said. So when I see that, I remember, hey, this is somebody that I've already talked to because there's been 50 since we talked to him 3 days ago. And I know where we're at in the conversation. And it trains them to see that they're going to have another question after this. They can just go straight in. They don't have to bug Mike. Mike is able to keep up with the explanation of this business is, look, what did I do for you? If later they say, okay, that all sounds good, but Mike, I just don't have time to do this. Mike can legitimately go back and say, wait, let's recap here. Let's put some glasses on you so you can look through this lens the right way. Because you're saying you're busy and you're not thinking right now. So I need to slap you upside the head and make you think for a second. What did I do? I found you on LinkedIn. I found you on Facebook, whatever. I asked you if you were making any money on that thing. You said no. I asked if you wanted to fix that. You said yes. And I said, I got a guy. And then I put you on with the guy. How long did that take me? 47 seconds. And then after that, I followed up with you after you went and watched a video all by your lonesome. And I asked, did you have a chance to look at that? You said yes. I said, great. What'd you like? And did you have any questions? Are you ready to get started? That took another 13 seconds. We're up to about 50 seconds so far invested in this thing. Tell me again how you don't have time to do this. And what that does is it destroys anybody's time argument. So that's why it's really important to be able to follow this process this way. And it shows you guys what you do next in the process on the follow-up. You are driving it. You're just checking on them. You're on the same side of the table with them sitting there whispering, hey, did you have a chance to look at that thing? Did you look at it yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yeah, you want to be that nagging little person, but you want to do it because you're trying to help them. Did you order yet? Did you order yet? Did you order yet? Find some good ways of saying that, but effectively that's what you're doing. Why do kids do that? Because they're little terrorists and they get their way. They see that it works. If it didn't work, they wouldn't keep doing it. They'd find another way. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go. You pull over. So do the same thing with this. Just find a cool way of doing it, or do it that way. I don't have a problem with it. They'll like it. It's a breath of fresh air. And the key to what Mike also said, he had a couple good points out there. You're gonna get spammed by so many people. So many people are out there throwing up on everybody. They're doing direct marketing from a perspective of being a billboard. They're being a radio commercial, and they got to say it over and over and over and over again before you pay attention. And guess what? A couple people join from time to time doing it that way. But all it is just getting lucky. It's getting a very small percentage. Doing it this way, you're building rapport with somebody. You're actually having a conversation with somebody. You're actually finding what they want out of life if you do it right. If you're just trying to get them into your business, you're trying to do that quick, you're not finding out what they want. Is it possible that you could spend a lot of time with somebody and they're not interested in doing this business? Yes, it is. So you got to find the balance in there on asking the right questions, finding out what they want. I can do that quickly. I'm not going to sit there for 10 weeks building that up and then finally get to the point of asking them what's their hot button. I'm going to find out their hot button pretty quick. All right, 5-minute mark. Okay, who's got some more questions? These are fantastic tonight. I'm loving this. Yes, sir, Ed. What you got, sir?
Not necessarily a question. I just have a statement.
What you got?
Someone's getting older tomorrow.
Happy birthday. She's so happy you said that.
Be the last name is mine.
That is awesome. Hey, it looks like it's a pretty comfortable couch. I don't know. You tell me. Happy birthday, Alicia. I think she said thank you. I'm going to assume that's what
thank you. But in return, that means that I'm still 2 days older and smarter than Sherry's husband, Ryan, who I was very good friends with growing up. So
that's awesome.
He's going to get older too.
Too funny. I love it. That's fantastic. Nice work, Ed. All right, who's got some questions for me? Let's have one last one. Van, what you got?
Well, I just want to go back to the last one you just talked about the customer.
Uh-huh.
I had one customer do the same thing, keep on putting off and not want your order or something.
Uh-huh.
So finally, one day I brought my laptop with me. I went in there and I see him. I said, well, are you ready to order yet? No, not yet. But I have your link. I can go home and order. So I said, you know what? I just put it on now. And then I set everything up and then went to the to put the address, his address, mailing address, and the information, and then I hand it to him. I said, here you go. Take you 2 minutes to put this information in. Done. And then he literally take his 2 minutes to put it on. So sometimes I do feel like I need to put a little bit more pressure to help them out.
Yes. Yeah. It's so true. It's just, it's inertia. Things at rest tend to stay at rest. Things in motion tend to stay in motion. And same thing with people. They've got their stuff going on. That's just another hassle. It's another thing that they got to do. We do have quite a bit going on in our lives these days. So you offering that, I call it, offering the customer service, doing that step. Are you at that point maybe doing some closing type things with somebody? Yeah, you are. You're doing a trial close with somebody. You're finding out, are they truly serious about it? And that's okay. There's no problem with doing that. And 9 times out of 10, because they'll tell you if they don't want to do it, and then you can find out if they don't want to do it. And then you can find out what their holdback is. And then you can actually unearth whatever their true objection is, because for whatever reason, I think it's just the way society is that they're afraid of feeling uncomfortable if they say no to you. People don't like saying no. That doesn't interest me. I don't want to do that. They would rather make up some BS excuse and lie and say that, oh, no, I just don't have time or this, that, and the other. They just won't come out and say, no, not interested in that. That's just, I think, in the North American culture. Russians don't have any problem. They'll tell you you're stupid to your face right there if you say something stupid. They don't have a problem with it. It's just a different culture. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. Way to make it happen, and you hear a lot of the leaders say that a lot on let's make it happen. That's how you go make it happen. You just find a way to get over the obstacle and push it all the way home. And don't feel bad about doing that. What is it that we're trying to get them to do? We're trying to get them to order a product that has a money back guarantee. And if they don't like it, they can simply send it back and they'll get all their money back, and I'll pay for their shipping and handling and I will round up. How is that? I mean, goodness gracious, it doesn't get any better than that, so.
It's also, this one is called a good customer service.
Yes, that's exactly it. Helping find a way to make their day a little bit faster to get them there. And then make that be what AutoShip is as well. Every single time you talk with somebody, tell them about AutoShip. Get them to do the AutoShip. Tell them you're going to love this product.
Mm-hmm.
And when you love this product, you're going to forget to order. You're going to have 3 or 4 days left, and you're going to notice. And then you order. It's going to be 5 days till it gets to you, and you're going to have a gap. And you're not going to like that. And you're going to appreciate it a whole lot right now that I get you set up on AutoShip. Now, if you don't like it, you can you're going to send it back anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well do it on AutoShip, and you're going to get some extra benefits for doing that. I think it's actually a little bit cheaper if they do it on AutoShip as well. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% on that.
Okay, I will try to do that for the next one.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So everybody, get your people on AutoShip. If they've ordered it once, do not feel like you're being pesky, okay? Because people are going to say, well, that was really good, and then they did it for a month. It hasn't become a habit with them yet. It hasn't been something that, maybe they have. And if they have, they'll get on AutoShip themselves. But go ahead and help them out on that. Make sure that you go and do that customer service and make sure all your people are on AutoShip. And if they're not, that's a good way to follow up with them and make sure, are they taking? They're like, well, it's not really doing it for me. Well, what are you doing with it? Are you, you leaving it on the microwave, or are you actually taking it? No, I'm taking it. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how are you taking it? You will be surprised at how bad people screw up and how they take this product. It's fascinating. So again, more customer service. Make sure these are your customers. This is the lifeblood of your business, and this is where your residual income comes from. You want to make sure that they do it. Now, you do that for every one of your customers. Yeah, absolutely. Once you get them squared away, they're done. But them ordering one time does not make a residual income customer. That's not all there is to it. You need to make sure that they keep on rolling. So some really good points there, Van. I appreciate all of that. All right, folks. Well, we are out of time for Power Hour. That went really fast to me. I don't know if it did to y'all as well. For anybody that wants to stick around for the summit, we're going to get that kicked off here right now. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I appreciate you all being on. We'll have our next Power Hour is going to be on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central. It's going to be with Mr. Spencer Wynn, so make sure you don't miss that. He's an absolute beast, and he brings so much to the table, so you want to make sure you're on for that at 10 o'clock. So thank you guys for coming tonight on Power Hour. I'm going to unmute the line so y'all can say good night, and then we will get started with the summit here in about 30 seconds. All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Guys, night.